I grew up in the hills of eastern Kentucky. A lot of hunting, fishing around me. I did fish. I just never hunt. I can eat it. I just can't kill it. But being outdoors and living outdoors is a big thing. I've heard a lot of things throughout the years in regards to outdoorsmen and hunters and fishermen, hikers, campers. I always hear that outdoors people are the biggest advocates for the outdoors and for maintaining them. And that when it comes to conservation and things like that, that definitely hunting organizations, but hunters, fishermen themselves are huge advocates for conservation. From what I've seen throughout most of my life, I believe that to mostly be true. But there's a lot of fake conservationists, fake hunters, and fake fishermen, and fake outdoorsmen out there. I'm Justin Perkins. This is Talk Junkie. I don't know how many times, a lot of because of my job, that I'm in the hills with people that I don't really know all that well. I mean, it's a daily occurrence. It's what I do. And depending on the company I'm working for, and much more so in the past, there's an environmental element to my job. And I'm big on keeping the job picked up and clean. There's some bad habits that construction crews out in the woods have. Burying trash, leaving trash, just laying anywhere, actually. It's things you see. But being where I'm from, almost every person I work with hunts or fishes or both. So I work with a lot of people who enjoy the outdoors and stay in the outdoors. And a lot of those people claim to me to really love the outdoors. I worked with one guy who was single, made good money. I would have to estimate, just on what I can prove, on what I've seen, he spent in excess of $1,000 a month on fishing. That's a lot of money to me, especially to spend on fishing. Had worked with this gentleman he was younger, for about 3 years. I no longer work with him, but he and I were working one day, and I try not to talk about the companies I work for, things of that nature, but the job we were doing involved being in a waterway, a creek. This gentleman chewed skull. He took the last chew out of that can of skull and put the lid back on it and chucked it into the creek. I walked down. The water was very shallow. The can just went against the bank. I picked up the can. I brought it back to him and I put it in his hand and I said, "Next time, I'll write you up for that. Throw that away." We'd known each other, like I said, for years, before I was in the position I was in at that time. And we both worked for the same company before I began inspection. We knew each other. And he laughed and said, "Surely you wouldn't run me off for one skull can." I said, "You think about the money and time you spend fishing." "Yeah." And I won't say his favorite lake, but you have this lake that you love to fish on. "Yeah." Last year, when I was at my local lake doing lake cleanup, which I don't do that every year, and I don't do it because I'm a saint. I do it because I thought it was fun a couple times, and one time I done it just as an excuse to be out on my kayak. While I'm trying to clean that lake up, your You're complaining about the lake you fish. Yeah, man, it's awful. And every time it floods and gets bad, all these trailer trash people's stuff just gets washed right down into the lake. I said, where do you think your skull can was going to go? Well, that's one skull can. It's just one. Wash up on the bank somewhere. That's not like all these other things. All the bottles and stuff. I said, do you think one person just threw out thousands of bottles at once? You don't think that was one pop bottle at a time? That it accumulated over time? We talked for a long time. I've lost contact with him now, but the last I spoke to him, he told me he really put thought into that because he loved to fish. Loved it more than anything in this world. And he was doing nothing to help ensure that he was going to be able to continue to fish, or that his kids were going to fish, or that the fish populations would be okay. But more than anything, that just for the simple fact that he enjoyed the lake, to keep the lake clean. But that took things outside of the lake too. That took keeping things around the headwaters clean and things upstream of these contributaries clean. And I don't know how many times I've been out in the woods with guys, and the whole time during lunch, we may even eat venison for lunch, or during lunch, it's especially during hunting season, it's talking about where they're going to hunt at, what they killed last year, their favorite hunting spot, and how somebody has moved in and threw out a bunch of trash in their favorite hunting spot, or somebody's moved in and took over their favorite hunting spot, or somebody's moved in and cut all the trees out of their favorite hunting spot. And as soon as lunch is over, I can stand up and look around me, and before I go get my trash bag and clean up or make them clean up, everybody's left their crap laying. Their pop cans, their bags of chips. I can bring this up 1,000 times. I can bring it up every day at lunch. Of course, I'm just a tree hugger when I do that. I've done something wrong. I'm a hippie because I need them to pick up their stuff and take care of the outdoors. See, I enjoy the outdoors. I want to be in the outdoors. I'm not perfect. I make mistakes. I make trash. I'm like everybody else. But I do everything I can to respect the outdoors and keep the outdoors clean because I enjoy using them. And because of nothing else, it's just the right thing to do. But these people who love to hunt more than me, who would throw a fit if you did that on their property, have no objection whatsoever to coming into somebody else's property and doing the same thing. I don't understand how you can love nature, love to be in it, love to camp, love to hike. People that I've sat down and talked to, and I know they really understand the pleasure of being outdoors. Guys that I'll take when we're on a job and I find something neat, take them, show them, go, man, look at this cave, look how amazing, look at this overlook, look how amazing, look at this old tree, look how amazing. I can show them these things and they look at it with the same awe and wonder that I do, but when it's all said and done, they're trashing it every chance they get, and I don't understand it. I don't understand the negative connotation of asking someone to do better. I don't understand the negative response of we can do better. We can work harder. I don't recycle everything all the time, but I try to do the best I can do to do better when I'm able to do better. If I at least take the opportunities that are actually there for me to do better, that's doing something. If I ignore every opportunity and never even make the attempt to better something, it's ridiculous. But if you don't treat nature with respect and admiration, if you're not a good steward of nature, then you don't deserve to be considered a hunter or a fisherman or an outdoorsman. You're not a real hiker or a camper. It's not real. It's not you. You are selfishly staking claim to something that people who really care about nature deserve. It's hard to have this conversation with people. Sometimes people will just adamantly disagree with me and go, well, I mean, nobody that hunts and fishes can be a conservationist or care about nature, but the numbers say otherwise. That's where a lot of the funding comes from. And then people will say, well, it's because hippies, in a way, and I mean, really, that's what I hear is hippies. It's because of hippies and tree huggers and the way that they do things that makes people not put forth the effort. Well, that's a ridiculous statement. I mean, you're not going to do the right thing. You're not going to do what you should do because you don't like how someone else... I mean, it's so idiotic I can't repeat the statement. I mean, there's no logic to it. It seems so elementary. It seems so simple to say we, in order to appreciate and continue to have nature, have to change the way we interact with nature, and that if the things you enjoy the most, i.e. hunting or fishing, are that involved with nature, then you should take care of nature anytime you're in it. Again, I'm not asking for some amazing change. Pick your shit up. And until you start, don't tell me that you're a hunter or a fisherman or an outdoorsman. Because if you can't pick up some trash, you're not an outdoorsman. If you can't pick up trash, you're just lazy. And I have no respect for that. It's not being a real outdoorsman if you don't appreciate the outdoors. And I mean, look, there's things on other spectrums of that. I mean, this conversation, every time I have it, somebody goes 100 different ways. I want to thank everybody that does listen. I know it's not a lot of you, but I really thank you for that. Share this thing, get it out there. I'm trying. I know there was a lapse in these where there weren't as many, and then there's a bunch, and then there's none. There's long ones or short ones. It's just whatever time dictates. I've got some recorded that I'm trying to put on timed releases so that you don't get flooded with them. Maybe one a day until they're all out, and I'm gonna try to do them and build them up. I really appreciate the responses. Again, I am back to checking the email. It's authorjperk@gmail.com. And then checking the YouTube stuff, and it's at J Perkins. That's really all I got. There's no social media for it. I mean, look, it's out there. If people will find it, if they want to find it. If you send negative emails, I'm not going to respond. Look, life's short. Hate me all you want. I don't hate you. You seem like you could be a great person. I don't know how you call me a conservative and a liberal in the same, within 2 sentences of each other. Don't get me wrong, I think they're both an insult. By the way, I'm neither Republican or Democrat. But, I don't know. Maybe you just want it mentioned on the podcast. If you wanted me to go crazy, I'm not going to. I forgot what it was I'd done wrong. There was a long list. Obviously, you had it. I was an abortion supporter. But I was a Republican was I don't know. I'm just a sheep of some sort. I did a lot of different things. And maybe what you needed was for me to get on here, acknowledge that you sent me the email, and say your name. So, I'm not going to say your name. I acknowledged your email, but I'm not going to say your name. You can keep sending those. I don't care. Honestly, I deleted it. I read it. I chuckled. I deleted it. I went a day, and I went back to my trash and read it again and chuckled again and thought, I'll respond. And then I thought I'll do a podcast just about it. And then I thought, let me delete it from my trash. So if the urge to read it or anything, nothing's there. In another couple of days, it'll be out of my head. And all the effort you put into disliking me was for naught. Because I really don't dislike you. I don't even know who you are. I don't know how we could dislike each other because we don't know each other. But, again, thanks, everybody. The books are available. Go to Red Spot in Newton Hazard, Kentucky, and get them if you live in this area. If you don't, Amazon.com. It's free shipping. That was a short one, wasn't it? You guys have a great day.